Hi, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to Bona and Boma. I am Boma. Something happened this afternoon. In fact, I'm not happy about it. Can you believe I recorded my first video with so much confidence and happiness and enthusiasm just to finish this video and realize that my microphone wasn't put on. My microphone wasn't on, so I was just blabbing. Like when you just think about the ignorance on my face. Sometimes it's not easy to just get this right. However, I don't want to take my venting on you guys. Today, I have something exciting for you. And I've been guilty about it. You have also been guilty about it one way or the other. But I want to introduce what we call stigma in the mental health industry. Okay, so the fact that people have little awareness about what mental health disorder or illnesses are, and the fact that they do not want to make it their business to get to know about mental health. They feel that except it comes into my house or maybe I find myself in it one day, there's just no reason for me to get to know about mental health, and so they do not want to navigate around it. Just be far away and just hear what's going on. So I have this sad story I need to share. There was a gentleman who was honestly freakingly in love with this young lady. They were dating close to 2 years, and the gentleman used to have episodes like suicidal ideation episodes. There was one time he even planned it. The suicide is a process. It's like a cycle, right? You first of all have the ideations, second you plan, third you attempt, and fourth the lethality of it, right? If you're able to succeed, it becomes lethal. Then this gentleman had suicidal planning going on. However, there was a prolonged depression that led to the suicidal ideation. Like any young man would do, opening up to the love of his life, told her, this is what's going on with me, what can we do about it? I'm even so scared. The last time I planned my own death, and the lady went like, okay, I'll get back to you, whatever it is, we'll talk about it and stuff, only for the lady to call him back few days time telling him that my uncles are saying it's not good to be with a boy or a man who thinks about that. It's a spiritual problem and he has to go seek for some prayers or deliverance. If not, if I don't leave you, I could also end up thinking like you. Death is a curse. Really? So this is truly not just because she's breaking up with him, but the fact that she's not able to be a supportive system for the gentleman to even open up to just open up, hear my thoughts, hear my feelings, and let's do something about it. Then I am met with judgment. I am met with some kind of hateful criticism that is not just welcoming. Now this gentleman was broken, coiled up, went back into his depression. He contacted me and was like, is it true, can I transfer suicidal ideations to people? I'm like, no, it's non-communicable. You can't. It's not like STIs or STDs. You can't transfer your feelings to someone, that isn't how it works. And the gentleman himself was confused. He was like, this is what my girlfriend is saying and I'm so broken. I had to help him one way or the other to come off it, and today he's doing marvelously fine. There are times in our lives it's like a downhill. You just go down there, you just feel gloomy, you feel blue, you're hopeless, like things just everything about your life just represent pictures and words that are just negative, like something you can't even do about it. That's exactly what this gentleman was facing. And if he had a supportive system from this girlfriend, his life would have been excellent. He just needed that support, like that assurance, like that kind of comfort to really become vulnerable and be met, with safe hands. So that's one thing people don't like to open up. I don't want to digress, but then let's talk about suicide. What is suicide? So suicide is simply death caused by injuring oneself with the intent to die. So any activity that you do so that you would end up dying is suicide. Okay. Secondly, suicide attempt is any activity you do with the intent to die that ends up not being successful, right? So an attempt is one is not lethal, it's not successful. So you try but you don't die, right? So it becomes an attempt. But when you end up dying from that activity, then that's the lethality of suicide. You get it? There are so many reasons why people commit suicide. People try it. Depression can be one. Prolonged depression can be one, like this gentleman was going through and didn't have the help. So normally when people are going through depression, they need what we call the problem solving skills, or maybe coping skills, to be able to navigate in that part or in that phase of their life. When they are not able to meet the right problem solving skills or coping skills, they end up becoming a victim of that. Okay, so if you are going through any form of depression, just get to the rightful professionals. They would help you. Who estimates that about 20% of the world's population have at one point in their life suffered from a mental health disorder, right? So 20% makes at most 1 billion people of the world's population. I could be one, you could be one. And so 1 out of 4 people or 2 out of 10 people, you could find someone going through a mental health illness or disorder, right? So the reason why I am making this video is simply to create an awareness about stigma, right? So on this page, we normally just discuss about personal development, career goals, godly lifestyle, anything that would help young people become a better version of themselves, right? So today I decided that I need to educate you about stigma, not only on mental health but on all other biological or physical illnesses. So what in short is stigma? Stigma is a disgrace or a dishonor attached to a certain illness, right? It's not only about the mention of diseases, but it could be a lifestyle, challenge. For example, divorce. People stigmatize women and men who have divorced before, right? So a lot of times people are met with the disgrace of what they are going through in life, and this silence or prevents people from talking. So if you have ever given a reaction, if you have ever responded in a way that prevents somebody from telling you something about them, you have actually stigmatized them, right? And a lot of times it's not normally about the response, but the reaction is what makes it stigmatizing. Secondly, we need to understand that stigma comes with the word shame and guilt. So the person experiences shame from the external world, that is the external judgment from people looking at you, passing comments, whispering, doing all kinds of demeaning acts that would make you feel very uncomfortable and feel left out. So when the external world neglects you, judge you, criticize you, now you have no support but just to rather become but you just rather feel so confused, you become so lonely, and you become depressed, right? Because there's no support. We can only create a family system like the Abraham Maslow theory of needs, right? The first is food, second, safety. If the environment is not a safe place for you, how do you function, right? Now, the second of the categories of stigma is guilt. That is the internal guilt, where you feel, why has it got to be me? Why am I going through this? And those who are religious will turn to God. God help me, God save me, God heal me, deliver me, redeem me. We tend to cry to God for help when we feel guilty of things that are not even our fault. I mean, who wishes to have a mental health disorder or illness? No one does. So we feel guilty that we are met in that situation. Now, the question, how are you, is a usual question people ask every time, every day, anywhere. I mean, I grew up in that environment, how are you? I'm fine. Whether you are fine or not, the response should always be an expected answer, right? I'm fine. Now, the question, how are you, is normally not about the response people want to hear from you. Or it's not even about the response I want to hear from you. It's the reaction after the how are you I have asked you. So if I ask how are you and you go like I have headache, I would ask, have you taken medicine? Do you have to go to the hospital? Are you okay? Because that is what physical illness, a lot of people relate to physical illness. Oh, I had a bad stomach ache, or maybe I have a general body pain. That is okay, just go get some tablets, right? But if I ask you how are you and you go like I'm depressed, like the reaction depressed, or maybe how are you and you go like I have suicidal ideations. What? You want to kill yourself in this world, this beautiful world? So the reaction to that answer is the stigma, right? Because people do not have a strong emotional stability or capability to handle another person's emotional needs. A lot of people do not have that. So when you meet them with your emotional need, they feel that it's just too hard to help you with it because it's about the mental. And because a lot of people are not aware of mental health, they frown upon it. And unaware, subconsciously, they stigmatize you about it. Some is not intentional, but mental health and physical health is just a thin line. Sometimes physical health can cause a mental health illness, and vice versa. Mental health can also cause a physical health. The two goes hand in hand. Now, I have another question. Do you know someone with a mental health illness, and what did you do? Okay, so to rate whether you have stigmatized somebody or not, since you had, or if you knew someone had a mental health disorder, what did you do? If you did nothing about it, it meant that, number one, you lack awareness and understanding about mental health straight away. You have not known what mental health is. You did not know how to help the person. That's simply because you didn't read about it. Like you didn't create time to know about mental health. And I find this a lot because I work in the hospital setting. I've realized that a lot of Ghanaians are not truly careful about their diet until they're diagnosed DM, like diabetes mellitus type 1 or type 2, or maybe hypertension, and they are now strictly on diet, checking their diet and making sure that they manage it. But it's the same way towards mental health. Sometimes people can have headaches, and they go to the hospital. I want to have this help. I've been having headaches. What's wrong with me? But the same person can be having anxiety or stress, like overly stressed at work, and they feel like, oh, come on, it's part of life. I mean, who doesn't stress? Who doesn't get tired? And the more you talk about it, they feel that you are lazy. The same person can be depressed for 2 or more weeks and will not still tell anybody about it, will not still go and see a psychologist about it, because they feel sadness is part of life, right? But then they are getting this confused because doctors do not treat feelings or thoughts. Doctors can give you medicine to change how you feel or change how you think, right? It's a psychologist that does that. I have met people who have a very terrible relationship with clinical health psychologists or anything that has to do with mental health, right? They feel that I am fine, I'm not going crazy, and that's what they think. Anyone who sees a psychologist is going mad. There are actually a lot of reasons why people see clinical psychologists, okay? So it's because you stigmatize mental health. That is why you don't want to see a clinical health psychologist. I've got you. So number 2 could be reluctant and shame to admit it. A lot of people are ashamed about mental health, and so even if they know that someone in their family is going through a mental health illness or disorder, they don't want to admit it. They'll just say, you know what, you've gone to the hospital, you have this frequent headaches, right? In psychology, it could be called somatization or functional neurological disorder. It could be hypochondriasis. A lot of times when people think they are sick, when indeed there is nothing scientifically wrong with them. You get it? So they would feel, oh, go to the hospital, go for deliverance. You need to be you're possessed. Just go get some purification. And they are shy about it to admit that, oh, somebody really in their family has any mental health disorder, right? So the thing about this is to just go to Accra Psychiatry Hospital, Pantan General Hospital, Ankafo. Just go see how they are doing, and stop this myth about anyone who goes to see a clinical psychologist or for some mental health services is doing very poor in life. Like, it's all about schizophrenia. It's not. It's definitely not. Number 3, if you know someone has mental health illness and you did nothing about it, it could be also the fact that you are highly stigmatizing them. Yeah, you are very, very, very stigmatizing them, and so because of that, you don't even want to do anything about it. You are fine. And some people also use physical illness to be understood than mental health. Instead of saying, I'm depressed, they would go like, I've been worried because I've been having headache for some time now. Or maybe, I think I'm having this headache because I'm heartbroken. They can't really come out to say, I'm depressed. I'm truly depressed, like something like grieving or mourning. This is a situational depression, right? And sometimes it can lead to MDD, like major depressive disorder, if it is not treated. So a lot of times when you find people trying to use physical illness to get away with mental health, it's because the environment is not a safe place for them, and they just want to hide, because people relate more to physical illness than mental health. Can you imagine if your junior brother comes to tell you that I want to kill myself? What will you do? I cast and bind it in the name of Jesus. Every works of the enemy in your life, oh goodness, the enemy shall not prosper. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Yes, prayers is good. I love praying, but sometimes you need to seek for professional help. That is what is needed in your little brother's life. Okay, don't just take the person to the spiritual house and they are pouring all kinds of herbs, all kinds of mixtures on him. No. So how do we combat stigma? You listening to me right now, how do we combat stigma? First of all, we can combat stigma if we make it our business. Yes, mental health should be part of our business, just like how physical health or biological health is. You should make it your business. Read about it, educate yourself, tell somebody about it. Every day read a page, just anything about mental health, so that you can have a positive and welcoming relationship with mental health. Second, be open and receiving to people's pain, suffering, whilst also sharing your feelings. Whatever that is wrong with you, you can share it with the right people who will support you and would help you get the right helpful people. Secondly, by also receiving and being open to other people, you would be breaking barriers of stigma. So be opened and make it your everyday lifestyle to listen to people. Number 3, empathize, be compassionate, be a lot more loving. Always be help to somebody, right? You've heard that share love, show a little bit of love and kindness. That is how to make the world a better place, right? So be compassionate, be kind to people. When you join the church, be calm. Don't just talk anyhow. Don't just have a little doubt for someone. They can do stuff, but just be kind. At workplace, you saw that she was looking good this week. The following week, she wasn't dressed all well. Stop stigmatizing. Don't laugh. Just be kind. Reach out to the person and help them. Number 4, talking about suicide, like any other physical health, can help to prevent people from ending their life. First of all, this is how to do it. Make it a funny thing every day at work. When you ask someone, how are you doing? And they are taking long to answer, just say, are you thinking about suicide? Girl. Like, bruh, have you been thinking about suicide? Do you want to kill yourself? Really? Then we need to go see the psychologist. Make it an everyday thing. Come on, it's just like someone says, for the past week I've been having headaches. And a good friend will say, you've been having headaches? Are you pregnant? That is what a good friend will go like, are you pregnant? We know how we do it, girls. Are you pregnant? Or maybe I have some cravings for some food. You just ask, the look, just, and she goes like, no, please don't even go there, like, are you pregnant? So make it like that. When someone says, I've been feeling sad, go like, don't tell me you want to end your life. Are you thinking of ending your life? Like, make it an everyday chat. Some people just want to know that you care about them. Some people just want to know that you love them, that you will support them. A lot of people normally do this to reach out for love. That's just all about it. Love, that's what they need. Now, the feed point is create awareness and access to mental health care. So, like I'm doing, share this on our platform. We have about 42k people. Imagine 42k people sharing this on their platforms. We'll be making about 80,000 people knowing about stigma and suicide. Simple, easy, accessible, right? So in Ghana, you can find so many places to access mental health care. All the generalized hospitals, or the public and the government hospitals, and the private hospitals too. Yes, you can have yes, there are psychologists in those hospitals, and they can help you. And launching campaigns. So as part of my NGO, Center for Public Health Development Initiative, we are thinking and planning with my team to come up with campaigns to support mental health services, support and awareness here in Ghana. And we want to break barriers and protocol. We want to go far to the eastern, the northern part, and all of Africa. We want to be able to provide people with mental health, services and first aid and all of those things. Now, lastly, let's break barriers, okay? The religious, cultural taboos and traditional beliefs. Let's break barriers and help mental health people. Okay. Now, there's an activity I want you to do, okay? And the question is, if you look left and you look right and you can't find anyone with a mental health illness, then it's got to be you. Yeah. So this is how to know if you stigmatize mental health. So if you look left, if you look right, our workplace, wherever you're listening to me right now, even if it's at home, and you look left and right, your siblings, you see that they are okay, then it's you who is rather not okay, right? So if it's you and you go like, God forbid, I reject this in Jesus' name, that means you are highly stigmatized. Like, yeah, stigmatized. Stigmatizer, is that right? You are highly a stigmatizer, if there's a word like that. Yes, you are the doer. But if I go like, if you look left and right and you can't find anyone with mental health illness, then it is you. You go like, okay, fine. So where do I fall? Let me just go read about it. I'm not sad, I don't feel blue. I don't feel hopeless. I'm not thinking about killing myself. So in trying to ask questions and analyze your thoughts, your feelings, it means that you have a positive regard for mental health. It's simple as that. So stigma doesn't help mental health. No. What we have to do is to be open and loving. And that is what I have today to show to my lovely people, that let's show love, let's end stigma. Let's be open-minded. And let's support people living with mental health illness. This is Bonnie and Boma, and I am Boma, your host for today. Just sometimes giving you this health awareness, because I know that my friends, because we have over 40k supporters, right? Maybe few of you might be going through some mental health problem or challenge. Don't feel left out, because we are here for you. That's why I'm making this awareness. If you have any challenge, let me know. I can get you the help that you need. So, bye.